Good morning. I look like shit, and I kind of don't care because I am like right on the edge. Just one wrong word away from losing my shit. I have had an internal battle with myself for the last couple of days, trying to tell myself not to do dumb shit. And nothing's happening. That's the worst part about it. Is like there's nothing going on in my life. Well, there kind of is. That warrants it. It's just the energy that's in the air. Got me on edge. This full moon tomorrow it's a big one. But yeah. I don't understand how nobody seems to be seeing what's going on except for a very small handful of folks, and I just want to shake people and pay attention. But anyhow, it's Friday. It is April 11th, so this is our astrology and tarot for the 11th through the 13th. So I did a video about the full moon itself a couple of days ago. I think I posted it here. I'll have to go double check. But it's a big one. It's collectively, we're going to see some things happen. Now, I already did that video. I want to talk about personally today. This is your relationships. You are seeing your relationships full blown this weekend. Your friendships, your partnerships, your one-on-one interactions with others in general. That's really going to like shine the light here. The sun is in a conjunction with Chiron, and Chiron in Aries is all about that wound, about being your true self, about being able to be spontaneous and childlike and have a little fun, be passionate. You ever have those situations? I think we've all been in that, where like you get excited about something and somebody else comes along and shuts it down. Like it's that kind of energy, that's that pain that is being highlighted, right? So the sun is your ego, what lights you up. That Chiron, the wound, about what lights you up and being excited and being kind of just having fun with life. That's merging together. And that is shining onto the moon in Libra, into our relationships. It is highlighting where you're not allowed to be yourself with other people. If you are within the range, like 50 to 52-ish range, you're going through a Chiron return. So you've already kind of been struggling with this. You've already been having to face that wound and try to figure out who you are in this world. It does not help that we're dealing with the collective decline, right? But at the same time, that collective decline might also be what's kind of catapulting things for you too, to find yourself. You may have kind of taken a step back and gone, what are we doing? Why am I living life this way? This is stupid. This doesn't make any sense, right? And you're kind of battling with that, and that's going to show up in your relationships this weekend. Venus, the ruling planet of Libra, of the full moon, is stationing direct right around the same time. So this is, when a planet is stationing, it is super strong. It is stationing in a pretty close conjunction to Saturn, which is the planet that exalts Libra. This is a good time to lay the line out. So this is my boundary. If you can't accept this, then go on somewhere. It's really kind of a place where we're realizing that we don't belong around these people. We don't belong in this relationship. We don't, whatever it is, wherever it's showing up in your life. See, for me, this was my 10th house. The new moon for this moon family was actually an eclipse. It was a solar eclipse, and it was a south node solar eclipse. It happened conjunct my midheaven. I ended up walking out of my job and pretty much leaving everything behind and starting over. Because that south node means that there was supposed to be a beginning of an end. It was supposed to be a new beginning based on a release. So if you've kind of been holding on to something that should have been let go of, that's really going to show up for you during this time. So it's a rough one, okay? And what makes it even more rough is that the sun in Chiron is being ruled by Mars in Cancer. That's that anger, emotion, and remember, and Mars in Cancer is being ruled by the moon itself. But remember that anger is a secondary emotion. You're not just an angry person. You are someone who is not able to safely express the real emotion, the primary emotion, the sadness, the betrayal, the hurt, the struggles, whatever it is that you have to keep in, that becomes anger. Anger is something that comes from not being able to be your true self, having to stay in a box that you don't belong in. And that is really feeding this weekend. So there could be a lot of angry outbursts. Now that Mars is still in that trine with Mercury and the North Node in Pisces. So there could be some, big arguments, some yelling, some screaming, like that kind of thing. And it's probably going to be met with gaslighting, lies, manipulation, things of that nature. Also, Neptune is now in Aries, also being ruled by Mars, and Neptune rules the North Node and Mercury. So there's like this big circle going around here of folks trying to find their boundaries with others. They're trying to be who they truly are. They're trying to stand up for themselves. It's probably going to be met with some backlash because people don't like it when you suddenly get boundaries when they're used to you not having them. Arguments, fights, domestic violence is likely to kick up this weekend. Essentially, the collective uncertainty has got everybody on edge, and this full moon is going to bring it all to the surface. On Sunday morning, just before 8 a.m. Mountain Time, the moon moves into Scorpio. Scorpio is ruled by both Pluto and Mars, both of which are in their fall right now. Once that moon moves into Scorpio, this is where you're probably going to get really into some like deep, intense feelings, probably feelings you don't want to feel about whatever it is that's coming up today and tomorrow. And there's going to be a real temptation to get super vindictive with it. That is kind of okay with me, but I'm just a vindictive person. I try not to be. It's been an internal battle the last few days. But because it is being ruled by these planets that are really uncomfortable right now, they're destroying everything with Pluto, they're angry about everything with Mars, everything is emotional. That moon, after experiencing the full moon, that moon being in Scorpio, could be dangerous, it could be vindictive, it could be petty, it could be incredibly depressing. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. I said this on my TikTok, I'll say it here. If you work, if you're like a first responder, or you work in an emergency room or a mental health facility or a prison, be exceptionally safe this weekend. Make sure that you're watching your back, you're slowing down, you're taking time to catch your breath when you need to, and staying grounded, because this weekend can go completely off the rails in a lot of ways. Just make sure that you're protecting yourself. Domestic violence is probably going to kick up this weekend as well. So make sure that you're in a safe situation. So let's pull the cards for the weekend. What is the energy for the collective for this weekend? Oop. I got the devil for myself. Let's see what you guys get. That's too many. Just one card, please. Energy for the collective. Why does it keep throwing a whole ass handfuls? I do like those ones though, because that's some arguments and some endings and some. But okay, just one. What do we got? Ace of Wands. Hey, full moons kick up the energy, man. So there is like this. All right, I'm ready to start something new. It's a release. Full moons are a release, okay? And it does usually bring up that energy so that you can release something and start something new. So there's fire in the air this weekend. There is, again, that Chiron Sun conjunction in Aries is really like this kick in the butt to do something that lights yourself up, right? Other people just don't like it. Okay, what to focus on this weekend? What does the collective need? The Fool. Well, yeah, I like that. Let go and let God. Little trust in the universe, trust fall. Being spontaneous. Really stop trying to hold on to everything. That is like the biggest problem that I am seeing in the collective right now, is that the uncertainty And chaos has so many people trying to cling to what they know, and they're refusing to let go. The North Node in Pisces is telling us to let go and let God. Stop trying to control everything. Be more divinely guided. Trust the universe. You will be fine, but you got to let go of things first. When we're holding on too tightly and the universe decides it's time to come in and take that away from you, it takes it away from you in some of the ugliest ways possible. So really pay attention to where you need to just let go and do that trust fall, okay? What to avoid this weekend? Two of Wands. That's interesting, actually. No moving forward decisions. So no chasing the dreams. This is like, a lot of that is because this is that release, right? Sometimes you got to let the release happen and then sit with it before you actually move forward with the next step. Knight of Swords on the bottom. That's this underlying energy here. This is arguments. This is truth. This is when the Knight of Swords comes in, usually he's coming in to pick an argument. He's coming in to, sometimes they're coming in to speak a truth that you didn't want to hear, okay? So keep that in mind here. There's this new energy, but you have to let go of controlling everything to actually embrace that energy. You have to just take the hands off the wheel and say, okay, I will be guided here, and not trying to make the decisions on what you're going to do next. Focus on the release first. Focus on the letting go part first. Okay, clarifiers for our Ace of Wands. Two of Swords. There's your crossroadsy energy. And Two of Swords also involves listening to your intuition when it comes to that crossroads type of energy as well. Too much. Just one, please. Cards are on something today. They've been throwing everything at Page of Wands. Okay. Page of Wands is very Aries energy. This is where you get like the, oh, come on, you're taking it too seriously. It's not that big of a deal. Let's just go have some fun, blah, 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 when you try to put that boundary down. Okay. This, right? And you've got to make a decision, and you've got to listen to your intuition to make that decision of whether or not you're going to cut folks out. Are they listening to the boundaries, or are they coming in telling you, oh, it's no big deal, you're overthinking it, right? Keep that in mind, because this is that energy of a new beginning. But that new beginning is going to need to involve you listening to your intuition and cutting out the folks who are not listening to your boundaries. Okay. Clarifiers for the Fool. Too much. I'm telling you, this deck is on something today. It's got a lot to say. Clarifiers for the Fool. The High Priestess. That intuition. Trusting that you can't see everything, but you can be guided anyway. This goes right along with that let go and let God kind of energy. One more, please. And the Wheel of Fortune. That is so interesting, because on mine today, for my focus, I had all three major arcana, right? Focus on letting go, having that trust fall, stop trying to control everything, just new beginnings, and we're just gonna, whatever happens, happens, right? Listening to your intuition, allowing yourself to be divinely guided, even though when we got the High Priestess here, it means that we probably don't see everything, just like over here with this Two of Swords. We don't see everything, so we gotta just allow ourselves to be guided here so that that wheel can turn forward, so that we can move into the next phase. Otherwise, we end up getting stuck right where we are, where we're already miserable, okay? Clarifiers for the Two of Wands. Why are we avoiding the Two of Wands? Goodness. Come on. You're not cooperating this morning. we have 3 of Wands. Interesting. And 9 of Wands. Ooh, this is giving me a you're not ready to receive it kind of energy. If you like jump the gun, right? You decide that you're going to take control, you're going to take the reins, you're going to make the decision to move forward on something. You're not there yet. You're blocked from receiving that. You got to take the time to sit with what happens before jumping into the next thing. You got to process stuff before we jump from place to place to place. This is part of that letting go energy. Just because one thing ends doesn't mean you need to immediately start something else. You don't have to do that. Sometimes you just take a step back, right? Because you're blocked from receiving whatever it is that ship that you're trying to have come in. You're going to have to let it come in on its own. You can't go chasing after it if you're not ready to receive it yet. Bottom of the deck is actually 9 of Cups, which this tells me that folks are chasing their dreams, which is great. With Saturn and Pisces, please chase your dreams. Make your dreams a reality, because this is that wish fulfillment card. So this underlying energy of these clarifiers here is you're looking for what fills you up. You're looking for the emotional fulfillment. You're looking for the things that actually are right for you. So be careful this weekend. Pay attention to what is being revealed about your relationships with others. Don't cling to things too tightly. Make sure that you've got good boundaries this weekend, as they will 100% be tested.